Fair play to everybody who has turned up this afternoon. The vast majority will obviously be hoping that Lowestoft Town can continue their good form toward or at the top of the table. The starting 11 then for Lowestoft Town: in goal Luke Holt, Charlie Norman is at 2, 3 is Tom Fitzgerald, 4 Louis McIntosh, 5 Sam Johnson on his debut, 6 Josh Hazel, who's just made the switch from Wroxham, Kyle Haylock at 7, Dave Hinton at 8, Jake Reed is 9, Harvey Sayer 10, Adam Hipperson is 11. The bench for the Blues: Graham Hinton, Warren Burwood, Owen Murphy, Travis Cole and Sam Aldous. Now for New Salamis, in goal it's Ruben Rebstein, Raynal Hercules is 12, 4 Ange Jadra, 5 Tommy Boxer, 6 Simon Omope, 3 Ali Ujdi, 7 Kyle Lynch, 8 Spiros Mentis, 9 Joe Waite, 10 Albert Adu and 11 Mika Jackson. And on the bench is Andrew Tayaka, Rion Kawashi, Thomas Agostopis, Christos Ratselis and Ibrahim Kiente. So that's the teams for this afternoon. Lowestoft Town against New Salamis. Lowestoft Town on some run, 6 wins on the spin. That takes them to the top of the table, 4 points clear. They are of nearest rivals Felixstowe Walton United, who are playing Galston today, so the Blues will be hoping that the Greens can do them a favour. The Blues need to do themselves a favour before all that. Can they keep up this fantastic run of form? One thing we do know, Steve Rusbrook, is they score plenty of goals as we get underway.
Yes, certainly not goal shy, with the likes of Jake Reed, Harvey Sayer, Adam Hipperson, all prolific goal scorers at this level.
We'll play left-hand side at the moment for the Blues, just back on the halfway line. And it's Fitzgerald who plays it into Hinton in the middle of the park. Always busy in midfield is Dave Hinton for any team that he's played for. And he has possession now and drifts a ball forward. It's comfortably headed away though by Amope for New Salamis. But the loose ball should be picked up by McIntosh, and it is for the Trawler boys. Fitzgerald plays it out to his left, and Adam Hipperson, who just loves to run directly at defenders as he's doing now, and then switches play back out to that right hand side. Ball evades a tackle. All of a sudden the mist is getting particularly heavy as Jake Reed, with his back to goal, just plays it back to Fitzgerald. Still in a pretty central position, Lowestoft Town, as they look to make the early running here. McIntosh back out to that right hand side. We're going to get a delivery in, just a short pass back to McIntosh. He plays out to the left, but it's a short ball which is cut out, but only as far as Fitzgerald, as Lowestoft try and build again. And Hipperson, that's a decent looking delivery towards the far post, brought down by Reed, who gets the shot off, but it's saved by the keeper quite low. Appeals though that Reed was being pulled back there.
Yeah, Jake Reed just pulling off the shoulder of the defender, and I didn't know if he's going to try and take it on first time, but he just tried to sort of chest it down and then get his shot away. In the end, it was quite a weak attempt. Comfortable save for the keeper.
So a debut for Josh Hazel. It's always interesting to see how a debutant fares in his first game for a new club.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how, he may know several of the players anyhow. You know, the paths often cross some of these boys. I mean, I think Josh spent time at Norwich Academy at some point, so you know, he may know Louis McIntosh, for example. I don't know, but I'm sure he's experienced enough to make himself comfortable.
Well, he certainly played against them because he will have done that just recently, as he has made his move from Wroxham. Early stages of this game in the Isthmian North. A couple of minutes gone, 0-0. But it's Lowestoft Town who have possession once more. Again on their right, and it's Hinton. Dave Hinton, 2 Hintons in the Lowestoft side this afternoon. His brother is on the bench as New Salamis on a rare foray forward, which is nicely snuffed out by Fitzgerald, who then finds Hipperson. Haylock went on a run to his left, but Hipperson instead just gets one over the top delightfully towards Reed, but headed away by the Salamis keeper Rabstein, as the visitors just struggling to get out of their own half at the moment. It's the hosts pushing nicely and pressing nicely early doors here. Quick throw in to McIntosh. Then into the middle of the park and Hazel. Plays a hard pass up towards Haylock, who gets the second ball through into the penalty area, but the Salamis defence and goalkeeper eventually managing to clear. That was nearly a hospital ball back to Salamis keeper, but that loose ball won back again by Lowestoft Town as they try and make the most of the early running here. But again, it's the red shirts of Salamis who are able to clear, not effectively once more. Hazel back forward for Lowestoft. Ball played in from the right now. It's a lowish one, again cleared away. But good signs from Lowestoft early doors, Steve Rushbrook.
Yes, certainly got most of the territory. Salamis, well, I'm not even sure they've entered the Lowestoft half yet, but Lowestoft certainly pinning them back.
And with the confidence you'd expect from a team who are really on good form.
Yes, I mean, you expect them to be on the front foot, and you said plenty of confidence.
Flag up on the far side, offside. The Blues ventured, as the mist does come down a little bit heavier. So not too many games on at all in the county. 1 or 2 in the Anglian combination. Virtually everything has been wiped out in the Thurlow Nunn. A lot of cup games that should have been taking place this afternoon. The Mummery Cup, Cyril Balling Cup. That's a headache for any fixture secretary, isn't it, when you get to this stage of the season and things start to pile up all of a sudden.
Yes, when they sort of, I say earn their money. Most of them don't get any money, they're all voluntary, but I mean they earn their corn, should we say, when they have to start rescheduling lots of games.
Fitzgerald in the 6th minute for Lowestoft Town feeds it out once more to Adam Hipperson, left-hand side. Left footed cross in, falls back to Fitzgerald, whose shot just takes a deflection, spoons up, and is easily caught by Rabstein, the new Salamis keeper. And then rolls out to his left, and Salamis, who are kicking left to right as we view from the cabin here at the Foster Solicitors Community Stadium, and we are very grateful to at least be indoors, I have to say.
Yes, could have been a lot worse. Could have been on top of a scaffold tower somewhere.
Very much so. Hipperson again driving towards the defence. I don't really know what that was from Hipperson. He just punched it forward with his right foot. I think it was meant to go to his right, but it went straight down the middle, and Rabstein, the keeper, happily collecting.
I think New Salamis, they look as though they're just break off for a moment.
Yeah, they're giving the ball away, have Salamis. It's a poor clearance from the keeper, and that's going to be a free kick to Lowestoft Town, just on the D, in a very interesting and tasty position for them. Pretty central it will be, and that was just a sloppy challenge, which has given Lowestoft Town the free kick. Ipswich Town have taken the lead, I hear, to my right.
Yes, we're over the border, aren't we? So there's going to be plenty of perhaps blue bobble hats about on a day like today.
Well, there will be at Lowestoft.
Well, yes. Rather than green and yellow, perhaps. Perhaps in the more than the majority.
Now then, free kick, Lowestoft Town. As I say, right on the D it is. Just to the right slightly of target. This is a great opportunity. There's a big wall in front though. It's chipped over into the far side, and it's well just tipped behind by the keeper, Rabstein. Good effort it was from Lowestoft from the free kick. Nicely played, because it was a massive wall in front of him.
Yeah, the ball was just literally just clipped over the wall, and very little pace on it at all, but going for accuracy rather than power. And to be fair, it would have gone in the top right-hand corner. Keeper Rabstein not got across there and clawed it away.
He did so at the expense of a corner. First one of the afternoon on the 8th minute. Lowestoft Town have it. It's swung into the middle. Getting more and more awkward to see who's got it, but I can tell that Hipperson has drifted one towards that far post again, as well, and Salamis really struggling to clear their lines at the moment, allowing Lowestoft Town to again attack, and a ball played in from right to left, and it's a wayward one, and it's a goal kick, which Rabstein, the new Salamis keeper, will be very relieved about, because he was under a bit of pressure there.
As if the weather and the fog is not helping our cause. I think New Salamis, they must have raided an under-8 side and took the numbers off their shirts and put them on the back of their shirts, because relatively speaking, the numbers are pretty small considering the space they got to work with on the back of the shirt.
I've only just noticed that they are quite tiny, aren't they, and virtually on the shoulders with the numbers, and they're dwarfed by the numbers that Lowestoft Town have on their backs as Rabstein clears up to the halfway mark. Haylock goes up, and then it's flicked further upfield by Hipperson. It's for Reid to chase down, and he will continue to do so, but cleared by Rabstein. Up towards Micah Jackson, and again the Blues hungry for any loose balls that they can get hold of, and they've done that effectively again, and Hinton plays it out to the Lowestoft right. Just has to check the stride and look at options. That option is to play it back to Sam Johnson on the halfway line. He's got Fitzgerald to his left and finds him. Those two then exchanging passes, and Hazel will get a further touch here. And it's weird how the fog gets a bit heavier, doesn't it? More dense, and then all of a sudden it's cleared as Hipperson, doing well. He just tried to rob his man in the penalty area, but Salamis eventually able to clear upfield, and then that's a challenge by Fitzgerald, which will give Salamis, the visitors, a free kick about 10 yards inside their own half, right-hand side. Yes,
you know, the fog mist just seems to just drift in and out again. But the weather forecast I'd looked at, I was hoping for things to be improving by mid-afternoon. A bit of sunshine perhaps, but still time.
Time enough. Plenty of time in this game to see the first goal. We've only had 11 minutes of play here on BBC Radio Norfolk, as Fitzgerald just nibbled from behind. That'll be a Lowestoft Town free kick. We were talking before the game about the issues that Jamie Godbold's had with defenders being injured or unavailable, and those who've come in have done exceptionally well.
Yes, I mean, they've only conceded 2 goals in the last, 5 games, so that bodes well.
Possession again out on the Lowestoft right. That's a decent looking ball into the middle, and it's going to fall for Reid to have a shot on the turn, and he does it really well with the flag up on the far side for infringement or offside, I'm not sure, but that was really well put away by Jake Reid with his back to goal, turned left-footed into the net, but that's disallowed. But the Blues come again strongly, again down the right, really putting Salamis under a lot of pressure here, but the defence on this occasion holding reasonably firm, and they managed to get it up towards the halfway line, and it's played through the middle of the park, but well seen and mopped up by Lowestoft. So the Blues fans thought they'd taken the lead, Steve Rushford, but that flag up on that far side.
Yeah, I assumed it was for offside. I think it was Kyle Haylock who peeled away to the far post and headed the initial cross down to Jake Reid. I thought Jake Reid was like behind him. So, but one or other of them, I fancy, must have been offside.
Well, Haylock there was just having another little chat with the referee, so that would suggest that that was the case, but probably inquiring as to whether it was the right decision, but it's been given. So that early goal just chalked off for Lowestoft Town. It was a really good finish from Jake Reid, and a lovely ball over the top here from Salamis, actually, just to stretch the Lowestoft Town defence. Probably the furthest upfield that the visitors have been so far, and it's with Adu now back a few yards to Lynch in the middle of the park, tries his luck from range, but it's a wasteful effort, and it's a goal kick to the Blues.
Yeah, it's not a particularly cleanly struck effort from Lynch. Never looked as though it was going to go anywhere near the goal, let alone trouble Luke Holt in the Lowestoft goal.
Plenty of games on in the Isthmian League, actually. I had a quick look in the Premier and in all the divisions. Not too many have been postponed. Obviously Wroxham's game was. The Greens, Galston, are away to Felixstowe Walton United. That's still goalless as it stands, as it is here at the Foster Solicitors Community Stadium. Lowestoft Town against New Salamis, but it's virtually all been the Blues. It's just a question of them breaching the defence and the keeper, who've been reasonably well overworked this afternoon so far. But signs that they're growing into it a little bit. They've seen a little bit more of the ball in the last 2 or 3 minutes, Steve, than they had done in the previous 10.
Yeah, they've managed to cross the halfway line on a couple of occasions, which is a bonus from the way they started the game in the first 10 minutes or so.
And happy just to play it along their back line at the moment, just biding their time and then finding getting into the midfield area and Lynch, who's happy to come quite deep, find it, and a rather bulky figure of Boxer, who's the player manager, isn't he, Tommy Boxer?
He is, yeah. His brother Panny is also in the books of the club, and sometimes features.
Fitzgerald for Lowestoft. Of course, the Salamis side, who play at White Hart Lane. They can, that's their claim to fame.
Yeah, ground sharing with Haringey Borough.
Lowestoft Town again. 0-0. Still trying really hard. They've got a free kick right on the touchline, far right. The challenge seen by the assistant referee over on that Lowestoft right-hand side. Looking for a decent delivery. Josh Hazel is prowling on the edge of the box, the debutant for Lowestoft Town. So too McIntosh and Haylock. Ball about to be played in any second now. Hipson just behind all of those. It's gone up. It's gone towards Hinton. Appeals for handball, and the handball has been given by the referee, and it's a penalty to Lowestoft Town. Protestations from the New Salamis defence, but one or two players just walking away from the incident, which would suggest that it did seem to pop up nicely onto an arm. Penalty for Lowestoft.
Yeah, slightly strange one there. I mean, the free kick was knocked in towards the sort of near post area, which was pretty sort of devoid of Lowestoft players, but there's about 4 or 5 New Salamis defenders there, and I don't know if it just took a little bit of a wicked bounce, or perhaps one of the defenders assumed the other defender in front of him was going to, clear his lines, and then didn't, and he obviously just ricocheted up and hit the arm of one of the defenders, and not too many complaints, and polite word with the referee, but not much more.
Well, it's Harvey Sayer who's going to take it for Lowestoft Town. He's on 16, just one behind Jake Reed. Is he going to draw level with him? It's up to Sayer. Can he put the Lowestoft Town side ahead? Just takes a step up and really confidently sends the keeper the wrong way. And Harvey Sayer from the penalty spot after 16 minutes makes it Lowestoft Town 1, New Salamis 0.
Yeah, confidently dispatched by Sayer. Just strolled up to the ball, sent the keeper to the wrong way, slotted the ball in left-hand side of the goal, about halfway up towards the left-hand post. Well taken penalty, and to be fair, nothing more than Lowestoft deserve. In this first 15-20 minutes, they've dominated possession and territory, and probably been a little bit unlucky. Well, we already had one disallowed, haven't they? So probably a fair reflection on the first 20 minutes of this game.
Yep, absolutely. It is a deserved lead for Lowestoft Town, and it's come from the penalty spot, and Adam Iverson immediately robs New Salamis of possession once more, as the Blues looking to really get a grip of this game, totally turn the screw while they're on top. And that's a lovely ball through to Dave Hinton, who's into the left-hand side of the penalty area, still with Hinton, and he makes it 2. Really good stuff from Dave Hinton. He danced his way into the penalty area. He shirked the challenger Boxer, which came sliding in, and then with aplomb just slid the ball into the net beyond keeper Rabstein. And all of a sudden, 1 becomes 2. Lowestoft Town leading by 2-0.
Yes, cool finish from Dave Hinton. Good ball into Hinton in the first instance. I think it was Adam Hiverson just clipped the ball into him and just inside the box. and he had quite a lot of space, allowed him to turn, shaped up to shoot with his right foot, checked back onto his left foot. Did think for a moment that covering defenders might come across and perhaps block his effort, but in the end he just rolled it into the bottom right hand corner. Keeper Rabstein, no chance. 2-0 Lowestoft.
Doesn't score that. He's one of those players who probably should score more than he does, isn't he? But he comes up with a gem every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, much of his, his position in midfield is really about sort of being one of the central two midfielders. Often perhaps more of a holding role, perhaps, but Lowestoft have dominated the game in terms of territory so much. He's always going to get an opportunity to get in and around the box, as they dictate play.
It's been a very confident and fluid start from Lowestoft Town, who are showing why they are top of Isthmian North. They are there for a reason, and they already have a 2-goal advantage, courtesy of Harvey Sayers' penalty, and then just a couple of minutes later, Dave Hinton with a lovely solo effort just to double that lead. Throw into the Blues again. Here's Jake Reed, who's conceded a free kick. He's a bit too keen to win the ball back after it just popped up from his right boot. And it's with Salamis in their own half, as they have been for much of this game so far. And it's a hopeful ball forward more than anything, and easily cut out by Hazel. And then a lovely ball played forward by McIntosh for Lowestoft Town to come forward once again. Ball aimed towards Reed, but it's popped back out. A nice looking delivery coming in towards Reed again. Red shirts though managing to defend and clear, but sloppy play by Salamis just allows Charlie Norman to regain possession for Lowestoft, and a battle for possession, and it's won by the visitors. So 2-0 Lowestoft. You listen to BBC Radio Norfolk, and it's now Lowestoft happy just to play it back to Luke Holt, probably to keep him warm more than anything, and interested.
Yes,
he is in a game of football.
Yeah, I think he's had about 3 touches so far.
Lovely ball will go again over the top for Jake Reed to run onto. Cute ball forward by Fitzgerald, the left back for Lowestoft, just chipped it over the top of the new Salamis defence. But on that occasion, Jake Reed just out-muscled by the two Salamis defenders. And we have one Salamis player down in his own penalty area, and the referee has called a halt to proceedings. And obviously got a knock in the face by the looks of it. He will need some treatment. 2-0 Lowestoft Town.
Yeah, the defender in question, I think he was probably one of the two new Salamis defenders who basically sandwiched Jake Reed and blocked his progress. But obviously perhaps caught a flailing arm in the process.
Just having a scroll through, and it's the only game in Division 1 North that has goals as it stands.
Well,
and we are fortunate we've seen them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good opportunity for Lowestoft to potentially extend their league or consolidate their lead at the top of the table. Got games in hand on, or 1 game in hand on Felixstowe, 2 games in hand on, I think was it Basildon, a point further back than Felixstowe.
Totally different scenario so far to the last time I saw the Blues when they were beaten at home by Ipswich Wanderers, but their response has been, and that's what you want, isn't it, as a manager? If you dealt a blow, it's how you respond to that, and that response has been emphatic.
Yeah, I mean, 5 games now, going on 6 games, 5 games with wins, and today potentially a 6th win. Just what Jamie Godbold would have been hoping for.
Even more pleasing when you know that you've got a few players who aren't available to join in the fun as it is at the moment. So he's got those cards up his sleeve when he needs them. He will be pleased though to see the likes of Owen Murphy and Travis Cole involved to a degree, because they're on the bench. They've been reasonably long-term absentees.
And also he'll be pleased with the performances of Graham Hinton since he's been at the club playing and filling the breach at the back. Perhaps some people feel he's unfortunate to be on the bench after his performances, but just shows the additional depth to the squad that James Godbold has managed to secure.
Yeah, and of course when you're winning, you want to keep playing, so you will feel aggrieved. They say don't change a winning team, but Jamie Godbold has made those changes, and they've certainly paid off so far this afternoon, as the Blues have a 2-goal advantage. But Salamis with Adu, who plays it out to the right hand side, and Hercules back to Adu. But good defending by Lowestoft Town, in particular Haylock there, just coming back to help his defence. Just puts it out for a Salamis throw. Just out of view from us because they got the roof of the change rooms just in front of us, but it's played back to the halfway line and Boxer now. The player manager, ball towards the edge of the penalty area. It's gone beyond Hazel, didn't time his jump that particularly well, but it's Luke Holt who comes to collect the Lowestoft keeper effectively, and then a short rolled pass in front of him to Johnson. Now McIntosh takes charge, and to Hazel. Hazel forward to Sayer, scorer of the first goal, and in turn playing it out to the Lowestoft Town right. Here comes Sayer once more, skips one challenge, edge of the area. Is he going to have a shot himself? He does, but it's skied. And over for a goal kick. I thought the referee was pointing as he's given a free kick there.
Yeah, and Sayer, he's seen a lot of the ball and finding a lot of space out on the right-hand side of a sort of a front three. Jake Reed staying fairly central, Adam Hipperson spending most of his time out on the left-hand side. But the predominantly left-footed Sayer, you know, he's going outside the fullback, coming inside as well.
Well, Jadja has just been allowed back on the pitch. He was number 4, needed treatment for the head injury. He's immediately involved and gets a pass back to Boxer, who's being put under pressure now by Lowestoft Town, and the pressure enough to make the player manager for Salamis concede a throw in. And there has been another goal in Division 1 North now, because Felixstowe Malton United have taken the lead against Galston. Sam Ford after 23 minutes. Here, 2-0. 2 goals in a space of 2 minutes here for Lowestoft Town. Harvey Sayer from the penalty spot, and Dave Hinton with the second, giving the Blues this relatively comfortable advantage at the moment.
Yes, Lowestoft earned a free kick halfway in the New Salamis half on the left.
Short one taken, played in by Sayer, collected though by Rebstein, who just had to watch that because it dipped just in front of him, but he did well, the Salamis keeper. Now, from their point of view, Steve Rushbrook Salamis will just be trying to get some element of control of the game, which they have not been able to do.
Yes, I mean, they'll be looking for a little bit of progression up the pitch, but finding it really difficult at the moment.
Fitzgerald looked as though he's nudged as he tried to get on the end of a clearance from Salamis. But it was Hercules who rode the initial challenge, but good covering by Lowestoft Town, just helping out, and it's Hipperson. Plays along his own 18-yard line to Hazel, and out to Charlie Norman, just in front of the dugouts at the moment, which are looking pretty misty at present. Here's Hinton, scorer of the second. Now McIntosh. Haylock just rushed into a pass, so he's conceded possession. So now Salamis again in their own half, though, with Mentis. Tries to get one forward, well watched by Johnson. Gets it through to Fitzgerald for Lowestoft. And the left back tries to squeeze a ball forward, but it's intercepted by Salamis. Only though as far as Norman for Lowestoft Town. So whenever there's a loose ball, Lowestoft winning it back, but as soon as I say that, commentators curse, they give it away. No danger forthcoming though, because Salamis at least getting some crisp passes between each other, but in their own half. And then get the free kick. Challenged by Haylock.
I think the age-old sort of adage, the next goal is critical. Very much a different scoreline, 3-0 as opposed to a 2-1 scoreline. Salamis will be looking to get onto the score sheet as soon as they can.
And Lowestoft will be working hard to make sure that they don't do that. Here's Mentis though for Salamis. Hazel with the initial clearance forward by Lowestoft Town, the debutant this afternoon after his midweek switch from Wroxham. But it's with Salamis and Jadja. Lowestoft working hard to win that ball back, and Haylock in particular, but a couple of red shirts around him, so they outnumbered him and win the ball. And it's Lynch who plays it out to the Salamis left. A good structure to Lowestoft Town's play. When they haven't got it, they're just making it really awkward for Salamis and plugging any gaps that are in front of them. Just keeping their shape nicely. Although Hercules on this right-hand side has got some space if they tried to feed it through, but now he's gone into the middle and it's aimed towards him. It's gone over his head though. The flag stays down, so Hercules will keep the ball in for Salamis. So the offside push didn't work on that occasion for Lowestoft.
I thought he looked suspiciously like being in an offside position when that ball was played forward. I was just waiting for the referee's assistant to put his flag up once Hercules secured possession of the ball, but that flag didn't come. Corner, by the looks of it, to New Salamis.
Barrows and Pitsey 1-0 up at Walthamstow. 2-0 here to Lowestoft Town, but they have some defending to do at the moment, which they haven't had to do so far in this game. So it's being tested, and the ball there to be won in the air. It's bobbling around now at the edge of the 6-yard box. Salamis not able to get a shot off though, and it's cleared out of the penalty area by Lowestoft Town. But Salamis trying to knock on the door, but Hipperson doing really well to get his body in there and then clears forward. Although it's a poor one forward because it strikes the Salamis number 8, Mentis. Just feeling their way into the game. Now with Ujdi. Again a ball forward. Johnson comes across to just see that one out. Goal kick Lowestoft. 2-0 they lead. Jamie Godboll will be more than happy. Just over the half-hour mark. You would hope.
I imagine he's absolutely delighted so far. He'll just be looking for a third goal to potentially kill off the game.
Johnson just on the edge of his own penalty area for Lowestoft. Switches play effectively out to Charlie Norman on the right. And a ball for Norman to chase down. Reed's in the middle looking for that ball. Haylock continues his run. Tries to get it through to Reed. But there's Haylock. Shields it well. Salami's working hard to try and win that ball back. But that's a throw in to Lowestoft. Over on a very murky right-hand side. That throw in quickly taken. Delivered. Blocked. But Lowestoft again winning that loose ball. Here comes Fitzgerald down the centre of the pitch. He's going to have a shot himself. Well, he was in two minds. He played it through in the end for Reed. Looked as though he's going to shape up for a shot, Steve, and then whether he changed his mind.
Yeah, I think his body language perhaps confused Jake Reed. Jake wasn't looking for a pass. As it turned out, the pass was probably been a little bit too heavy anyhow.
Hazel with a good back header for Luke Holt to pick up in his own area. So on the scoring charts, it's all square at the top for Lowestoft Town, isn't it? 17 apiece for Harvey Sayer and Jake Reed. That's phenomenally good at this stage of the season. We'll get Steve's thoughts on that in a while, but here come Lowestoft again. Fitzgerald looking for the run of Jake Reed, and he finds him effectively. Back though outside of the penalty area, left-hand side to Hipperson. And back to Reed, who's hungry for it. Lowestoft throw left. Yeah, 34 goals between them. It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic start to the season. Kyle Haylock, sort of the next highest with 6, Sam Johnson 4. Surprised to see Adam Hipperson not further up that list. He's usually rattled in a few by this time of the season.
He's always lurking though, isn't he? I would imagine he's got quite a number of assists to his name as Hipperson, as Lowestoft build again. Centre, Hazel. Wasteful ball forward though, and that will sail out for a goal kick to New Salamis. Lowestoft Town leading by 2-0.
There's Lowestoft just one defeat this season against Ipswich Wanderers, which you jinxed for them when you came along to watch it. One draw as well, which I think was the first game of the season.
Yeah, I must admit, when I drove into the stadium today and I saw Jamie Godball, I thought, well, I'll keep a low profile, but he did see me.
The only game I've seen was the Suffolk Premier Cup game against Leiston.
Really good ball through to Jake Reed again, but an overworked New Salamis defence managed to put it out for a corner. He wriggles and worms his way through, doesn't he, Jake Reed? He must be a nightmare to actually try and mark.
Yeah, he sort of. Well, I think he filled out physically when he went. He had a spell at Dagenham, didn't he? And then he came back. And as a youngster, he was always sort of quite quick and wiry, stronger than he looked. But then he came back and he sort of looked as though he'd bulked up a bit. And he certainly knows how to use his strength and his body.
34 minutes gone. Lowestoft Town leading by 2-0. Corner, short corner taken. It's with McIntosh. Plays it back to Norman. Gets one. Well, he doesn't get it over at all. It comes off the outside of his right foot and out for a goal kick. Disappointing delivery.
Yeah, under no pressure as well. Box full of Lowestoft players, and all disappointed with the service they received.
Yeah, Jake Reed has been putting goals in left, right and centre every season. He's really consistent.
Yeah, year on year. I mean, you're always going to get at least 15 goals a season, sometimes more.
He hasn't got his name on the score sheet at the moment, but that's an attack which he's started. Just 32 now, Jake is. I mean, he's been around an awful long time. Here he is again. Lunging challenge coming in on him, but he manages to keep it. Gets it back to Hinton, scorer of the second. As Lowestoft Town look to further their advantage. And it's Fitzgerald now. Plays it out to a little bit of space for Hipperson to try and drill it across, but another defensive block puts it out for yet another corner for Lowestoft Town. Yeah, and you were talking about when he bulked up. I remember as a youngster when he went to Dagenham and Redbridge. Didn't last long, but he's many games for Lowestoft now.
Yeah, I think he was probably about 18 months perhaps at Dagenham. Played a few first team games in Football League.
Corner played in from the left and the header goes over, unfortunately. Decent delivery, good header. Straight over though from Johnson, unfortunately for Lowestoft Town. He still lead 2-0.
Yeah, the attack-minded Johnson having to fill in at centre half, enjoying a little foray into the box for the corner.
Well, Lowestoft Town will hope that the conditions don't deteriorate any more than this, because it has got all of a sudden a little bit thicker, the fog. Yeah, many thanks to Gary Button. 178 goals in 335 appearances, Jake Reed.
Yeah, that's a fantastic strike rate. Any striker would be proud of a ratio like that.
And you would certainly put your money on him adding to his tally this afternoon. He will want to. Always hungry for goals. But unselfish in that way as well, because he's always happy to do a lot of the donkey work throughout a game. And Lowestoft just a little bit sloppy at the moment and have conceded possession, allowing Jadja, who's recovered from that earlier knock, and it's a delivery into the middle from Hercules, but it's squandered by his teammate and it goes out for a Lowestoft Town goal kick. That's the first real opportunity they've had, and it was a poor attempt, really, after that decent ball in from Hercules.
Yes, a little bit of hopefully will serve as a little bit of a wake-up call for the Lowestoft defence. Despite dominating this game, they've got to stay switched on, and Hercules found a bit too much space down the right-hand side in the first instance, and then Waite managed to elude his marker in the box, and fortunately for Lowestoft, a pretty feeble attempt at goal. In fact, he failed to really get it on target.
And it is always the danger. You can be on top all the time, but there comes a time when a team will have an opportunity, so you've got to make sure that you snuff that out. And equally, try and further your advantage. For certainly the last 10-15 minutes or so, Lowestoft haven't looked quite as threatening as they were in that opening 15-20. I guess credit to Salamis for working hard to at least come into this game to a degree. And that's a piercing run from Lynch for Salamis, and then an equally good covering challenge from Fitzgerald to stop that particular attack. Back with Boxer, player manager for Salamis. Ball over the top. Flag up eventually. The only reason I say that, I can't even see the assistant, but the whistle went.
Yeah, I could just see the top of his flag over the roof of the changing room as the Salamis player took possession of the ball.
So free kick, Lowestoft Town. Just outside their own penalty area. Luke Holt, left-footed, takes. Good-looking strike towards Jake Reed. Headed away by Drodger. And then McIntosh shielding well and gets it through to Fitzgerald now for the Blues. Again, just running into a little bit of trouble, allowing the visitors to have possession in the midfield central area. And they certainly do look a little bit better, and that's a decent looking ball through, which Holt does well to come out to smother, although the flag up rather late again. It did look offside, I have to say, but that was a decent looking probing ball from Salamis.
Yes, left back overlapping. Always looked offside, but you get that pregnant pause while you have to wait until the player actually gets possession for the flag to go up, which is intensely annoying.
As you say, it's just that third goal that you want to come, isn't it? Just to make it a little bit more comfortable. And it has been relatively comfortable, but with 4 minutes of the first half remaining, it's still 2-0 Lowestoft Town. Those 2 goals in 2 minutes from Sayer and Hinton. Can they add to that in these final few minutes of the first half? Here's Hinton, and ball over the top from Reed. Good challenge coming in. Did the ball go out anyway? Yes, it did, the referee says. Who's on the edge of the Salamis penalty area. Goal kick rather than corner kick for Lowestoft were hoping for.
If Lowestoft were to concede, you know, 1 goal would suddenly potentially spark life into this new Salamis side who have been on the back foot.
And that's not the best of clearances from their keeper Rabstein, allowing Lowestoft Town and Sayer to have a little bit of a run into the penalty area. As Lowestoft looking to finish this first half strongly. Played in, headed away by Salamis. They're making a meal of clearing their lines. They managed to get it out left-hand side all of a sudden, and Ipswich Town have extended their advantage. They too are 2-0 up down at Portman Road.
Lowestoft defenders, I think, and the team in general, they just have to just keep focused upon their primary job. Certainly the defenders anyhow, when you've got so much possession and territory, it's easy to get sort of wrapped up in getting yourself involved in the play as well as a defender and making angles for the teammates.
Well, Hercules has got himself some space, just prowling outside the penalty area, but Hazel getting his right foot in there just to prod it forward to Hipperson, who's then challenged as he delivers it forward. Is the referee going to bring that back? Well, they might not have to, because Jake Reed has pounced on a mistake by the keeper, and Jake Reed puts it away with aplomb. You don't give Reed an opportunity like that just outside the box, because it was keeper Rabstein who, it was an awful clearance from him. It was pounced on by Jake Reed, who thumped it home to make it Lowestoft Town 3, New Salamis 0.
Yeah, I think it was Adam Hipperson just in the centre circle who managed to get a ball over the top away before he got clattered himself. And I think it was Sayer who went through chasing the original ball, pressurising the keeper who presumably was just outside his box, and he decided to try and head the ball away, but just headed it straight to Jake Reed, who picked up the loose ball, drove into the box and coolly slotted home to make it 3-0. Exactly the scoreline Jamie Godbold would be hoping for as we approach half-time, and probably still a true reflection on the dominance of Lowestoft.
Yeah, really well put away by Reed, who reclaims top spot in the scoring charts for Lowestoft Town. He's now on 18 for the season. So the Blues now in a very, very comfortable position as we nudge into the final minute. There will be some time to be added on. There was that earlier injury to Jadja, who's back on the pitch. But the Salamis left-hand side attacking late in this first half. Cleared though by the defence. There's a big gap in between defence and Reed, really, allowing Salamis to have possession through Lynch. Lynch out to this right and Hercules, who's looking up for a little bit of support. The Salamis number 12 eventually gets some through Mentis. And 3 minutes to be added on the board on the far side in green tells us 3-0 Lowestoft, 3 minutes of time to be added on. But Salamis chested down by Hercules, quite acrobatically gets it through to Jodja. Visitors exerting a little bit of pressure here late on. They'll want to try and get one back just before that half-time whistle goes, but the Blues will be working hard, as they are, to repel all raiders. And Hinton nudges a ball forward for Sayer, but one back by Salamis. Seems to be a bit more urgency from the visitors, you have to say, and that's a hopeful ball forward for Hercules. Doesn't matter, flag up, offside once more.
Yes, Hercules seems to be the favoured outlet. He sort of pulls wide and then tries to look for balls inside the fullback, and in this case Fitzgerald. But yeah, he did put one good ball in, which Waite should have done better with. But that was about the sum total of New Salamis's attacking forays.
So I would imagine a very cold Luke Holt delivers this set piece forward for Lowestoft Town, the keeper. He hasn't had very much to do at all, which is, well, he'll be happy with. As Lowestoft try and swing the ball from the centre of the park out to the right, but nodded forward by Salamis. Kept in by Salamis. That was poor play from Lowestoft on their left. Then the recovering challenge coming in from Hinton. He had to time that right because he was coming in from behind the player, but he won it nice and cleanly. And then a ball down the right-hand side for Lowestoft to chase. Keeper Rabstein comes to the edge of his area. Makes no mistakes on this occasion. And plays it forward to Boxer, his player manager. Salamis out to Hercules, who rather sloppily takes his... Well, he tries to bring it under control behind him. And it goes out for a throw-in. Hipperson into the middle to Hazel. Just the sort of game you want for your debut, really, don't you?
Well, it's fairly comfortable, but as I said earlier, need to remain focused on their defensive duties.
Well, they're trying to do more on the attacking point of view there. The assistant on that far side has seen a challenge on Reed, which is going to be punished. If it is, it could be another penalty.
Jake Reed certainly put his body in there, but the way the linesman was vigorously waving his flag suggested he was desperate to get the referee's attention, which does make you wonder if he thinks it was a penalty.
Well, Reed is staying down. He's certainly in the penalty area at the moment, and he needs some treatment. But the flag, as Steve was saying, was waved incredibly vigorously, which would suggest that he saw something enough to draw the attention of the referee, who those two are now having a conversation. What's the referee going to give?
Penalty.
It is a penalty.
Yeah, pointing to the spot.
The second penalty of the afternoon in time added on here in the first half at the Foster Solicitors Community Stadium, and it's an opportunity for Lowestoft Town to make it 4.
Yeah, Jake Reed being Jake Reed, he put his body in, you know, he uses his body really well, but I can only assume that in the process of getting his body between the defender and the ball, the defenders then, you know, clattered him, and you know, Reed certainly went to ground, but the distance we are away from the incident in this murk, it's difficult for us to get a real accurate take on what happened. But the linesman, 15 yards away, he was certainly keen to get the referee's attention, and penalty it is.
Well, Harvey Sayer took the last penalty. It certainly looks as though Adam Hipperson is going to take this one. What the thinking is behind that, I don't know, but Hipperson has been a penalty taker for an awful long time.
Yeah, I mean, he's maybe perhaps why he's not quite up the goal scoring charts as high as he, you know, perhaps has been in the past, because he's usually taken penalties wherever he's played, but Harvey Sayer has taken on that mantle at Lowestoft this season and dispatched a fair few.
Well, Reed is now up on his feet, which is will have been a concern. It still will be, because he's hobbling, and he's going to have to go off on the far side because of the injury. And I would imagine the final play of the half will be this penalty for Lowestoft Town. And it is Adam Hipperson who takes 2 or 3 steps back. He's the one with his hands on his hips who's going to take this spot kick. Can he make it 4? Hipperson drills it with his right and sends the keeper the wrong way again to bring an end to the first half. A very, very good first half for Lowestoft Town. Second from the penalty spot. It makes it Lowestoft Town 4, New Salamis 0.
Yes, I mean, an emphatic scoreline as we approach half time. I'm not sure the referee hasn't quite blown yet for it, but I can't imagine there'll be much more than the kick-off, and then he'll blow. But Jamie Godbold will be absolutely delighted with the scoreline, and scoreline is such that if Jake Reed has got a little bit of a niggle or a knock, you're not really compelled to get him back into the fray. I mean, they can you know, substitute him and give somebody else a run out.
Well, we're back underway. I can't imagine that there are many seconds at all. In fact, there's the answer. The whistle does go for half-time here at the Old Crown Meadow, and it's Lowestoft Town who, courtesy of that second penalty towards the end of the half, have extended their advantage, and it's a very comfortable 4-0 lead, and totally deserved Steve Rushbrook. Just a spell when Salamis looked as though they were getting into the game, but no threat to Lowestoft at all, who themselves have looked hungry for goals whenever they go forward.
Yeah, Salamis, I mean, they've only really sort of threatened or even entered the Lowestoft box on about 3 or 4 occasions. Joe Waite, the number 9, should have done better with a half chance from 6 yards when it was 2-0. Then Lowestoft quickly went up the other end and added to their tally to make it 3. And really, New Salamis, I think it's damage limitation for the second half.
Well, their player manager, he's having a good old conflab, isn't he? A boxer in the middle there with one of his players, and also perhaps an assistant or coach in the middle of the park. He's not happy, but Jamie Godbold, the Lowestoft Town manager, will be more than happy. 4 different goal scorers: Harvey Sayer, Dave Hinton, Jake Reed and Adam Hipperson. 2 of those from the penalty spot gives a very handsome half-time score here at the Foster Solicitors Community Stadium. Lowestoft Town 4, New Salamis 0.
Nick Bowler and Steve Rushbrook, thank you very much. There's a reason why Lowestoft Town are top of the Isthmian 1 North. Fantastic first half from the Trawler boys. New Salamis, the worries for that side continue. 4-0 down at half-time for the London side, but Lowestoft Town riding high in the league. What about the one singular other game in the Isthmian 1 North? Well, it's Galston away at Felixstowe and Walton United, and Felixstowe Walton are second in the league, hot on the heels of Lowestoft, and it's that side who are 1-0 up over Galston. So as things stand, Lowestoft Town are 34 points in first place in the Isthmian 1 North, and Felixstowe and Walton 30 points, 4 points behind, and Lowestoft have played a game less than their counterparts. So looking good for Lowestoft, and it should be straightforward in the second half, but tough conditions means it's going to be a very tough game for the Trawler boys to see out, but we're pretty confident at the moment that they can do so. What about in the Championship? Of course, a full range of Saturday fixtures. Norwich City play Bristol City at the 1:30 kick-off tomorrow. BBC Radio Norfolk's coverage begins at 1 o'clock with build-up, live match commentary, and your chance to have your say in Canary Call. What about the lunchtime kick-off? It's Ipswich and Leicester up at the top, and it was Leicester's turn first. They were at West Brom, and Leicester, well, they won it at the last minute.
Leicester have got a break on. Can he find the ball through? He does it to Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall through on goal, looking for a brace. He's got Winks with him. Dewsbury Hall lays it up. Winks scores and gets the winner for Leicester in the 94th minute. And the Foxes celebrate. Enzo Maresca's on the pitch. Leicester break forward and find themselves a winner.
Yeah, 2-1 win for Leicester City at the death at West Brom. There it was a ridiculous goal. There was just so many men forward for West Brom. But yeah, Leicester broke, and it was devastating for the Foxes. Devastating for West Brom rather, but devastating from the Foxes, may I say, and they're top of the league as things stand. Birmingham and Rotherham at St Andrews, goalless there at half-time. Hull 1, Watford 1. Ipswich are 2-0 up at Coventry at Portman Road, so Ipswich still hot on Leicester's heels in second. Leeds are playing Middlesbrough, and it's a very dramatic match, lots of goals.
It's gone silent. Whistle goes, Pirro coming up on his left foot, cop end, and smashes it home for his 8th of the season. And will that be decisive? Leeds are 3-1 up on Middlesbrough. Matt Clark on for less than 30 seconds, concedes the foul. Ruta rewarded with the penalty. Somerville leaves it for Pirro. Order restored. Number 1 penalty taken, nets into the cop end, and it's 3-1.
However, Middlesbrough have got a goal back, so Leeds 3, Middlesbrough 2 on the stroke of half-time. Millwall are at home to Sunderland. Millwall are 1-0 up at the Den. Plymouth playing Stoke.
Cross comes in from the right-hand side, shot comes in, and Plymouth have equalised just like that. Cross from the right-hand side from Hayden. That was too easy, and Bundu, left-footed, opened up his body into the roof of the net. But Plymouth, all of a sudden, have equalised through Bundu. It's Plymouth 1, Stoke 1.
Sheffield Wednesday snatched a draw at home to Leicester City in midweek, and can they continue to pick up the points as they're lingering in last in the Championship table at the moment? Well, at the moment, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Blackburn 0 at the break.
Now an opportunity for Wednesday to build an attack here. Windass returning to the side after injury and suspension. In goes the cross and the shot, and the ball has been hammered in, and Sheffield Wednesday have taken the lead with a well-taken effort from Bailey Cadamarteri, who gets his first senior goal to bring a chilly Hillsborough rising to its feet in celebration as he gets the opening goal of the game against Blackburn Rovers. A tidy finish from 6 yards out, and it's Wednesday 1, Blackburn Rovers 0.
What about Southampton at home to Cardiff?
Stuart Armstrong in the box, weaving himself to the byline, gets the header, and it's another goal for Adam Armstrong. And it's a great assist for Stuart Armstrong. And Southampton are blowing Cardiff away here at St Mary's. The Bluebirds have picked up a yellow card as well as the play carried on. And Adam Armstrong nods it back.
Yes, the Saints are marching on. Southampton 2, Cardiff 0. Swansea 0, Huddersfield 1 at the half-time break there as well. What about the Premier League? Arsenal 2-0 up over Wolves at the Emirates Stadium. Brentford goalless at home to Luton at the moment. And in a relegation 6-pointer, Burnley 2, Sheffield United 0. Good news for Burnley there. And Everton, they will have a game to play tomorrow. But at the moment, with that 10 points deduction. They're on 4 points and bottom of the league as things stand. And crucially, as things stand, Luton are 17th in that safe position with 10 points, so a gap starting to occur between Everton and the rest. Well, actually, sorry, Everton do play in the tea time kickoff away at Nottingham Forest. Huge game for Sean Dyche's men. And Newcastle host Manchester United at 8 o'clock. How about this for a first world problem? Manchester United's plane was cancelled from Manchester to Newcastle, so they'll have to make do with a 3-hour coach journey. My heart bleeds for them. But Manchester United away at Newcastle United in the 8 o'clock kickoff. Now, just a quick one as well. The Norfolk Senior Cup third round draw took place to be played on the Saturday the 27th of January, all 1:30 p.m. kickoffs. So, of course, we aren't giving you many results at the moment with all these frozen pitches across the county, but here's a game to look forward to on the 27th of January, the Norfolk Senior Cup third round draw. Thetford Town or Elsham will play Diss Town, Mulbarton Wanderers will play Downham Town, Watton United will play Blowfield United, Sheringham take on Wroxham, Kings Lynn Town under 23s play Heacham, Swaffham Town face Harleston Town, Fakenham Town are at home to Galston, and Norwich City under 21s will play Dereham Town. Now, talking of Norwich City, well, there'll be a bit more on the AGM and reaction to it. We'll play the podcast that we recorded, especially as part of BBC Radio Norfolk's digital output. Yes, we've got a special reaction to the AGM, a special version of the scrimmage coming your way after 5 o'clock. But how about this for a story on the side? If you're still Christmas shopping and there's a Norwich City fan in your life, then you could do worse than head to the Forum in Norwich. On the Stall City has relocated from the market where they were based for 4 years to a brand new unit opposite the Millennium Library. The Bowles family run it. They sell lots of kit and merchandise to raise money for the Community Sports Foundation. And we've sent Canaries fan and roving reporter Ed Smith to meet them. Let's hear how he got on.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why we've moved here, because we do have such a lot of stock and not really been able to, obviously limited for space in the market. So as you say, we got about 4 times, 5 times the amount of space we did have. So more to sell.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant. And Jacob, I mean, you've been in that market stall for many years. I see you working there and things. What is it like now to be in a big shop like this?
Well, it's very better compared to when it's out in the freezing cold, when there's no customers around.
Yeah.
We get lots of trade, lots of sales. It's a much better place, safe environment to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can tuck into my Brussels sprouts to keep warm this morning. I mean, Andy, in terms of what's gone into going from the market to here, what's gone into that?
Well, we've had this week we've had an army of people helping us. We had the Community Sports Foundation, including Adam Drury. He helped move us in on Monday. This was just the shop we have now was just a meeting room on Monday. So we had a removals day in the pouring rain on Monday, and Tuesday we had the build day where we had the CSF again and our good friend Billy and Colin, who did the grid wall for us, and that was basically putting all the flat packs together on Wednesday and Thursday. I don't know, we've been really busy just putting everything together, and we've also had the Norwich University of Arts who've done the design on the front of our windows, which is a really innovative design. It was students who did a little competition. You can see the skyline of Norwich there, a crowd, and when we open the doors, the logo forms in the corner. Yeah, it's really, really nicely done. So that was...
It's really cool, isn't it? Because actually the logo's at the top there. It's kept a nod to your original stall, the coloured roofs that Norwich Market is so well known for.
Yes, indeed. And we've also got in one panel of the front window, we've got a little greyed out version of Norwich Market. It's still there. And we've got some yellow-green scarves waving by the crowd there as well. So
you mentioned Adam Drury. What was it? Barry Fry used to say the best defender outside the Premier League, didn't he? Now we know what Adam Drury does in his spare time. He helps you move shop.
Yeah, the best removals man. No, he was brilliant on Monday, because it was, as I say, torrential rain Monday, and real brilliant, valiant effort on behalf of the CSF. Very grateful.
I always wonder with your stock here, Sharon, whether you unearth some real gems here. You know, real fan favourites, something that makes people go, "Oh, I wish I could have that top."
Yeah, we have to. We've got some sort of stashed away as well. We've got some rarities which I haven't put out just yet, but some real one-offs we've got.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one over there behind you.
Oh yes, look at that. Is that a 59er?
That's a 2009 player worn 59 replica. So if you remember, in 2009, the FA Cup, it was when they sacked Glenn Roeder, if I remember rightly, when we lost to Charlton in the FA Cup in January 2009, wasn't it, Jake? They wore replica shirts, and we've got a couple of those available here.
Yeah, lovely. And Jacob, do you ever keep your eye on things and think, oh, I wish I could have that top?
Well, personally, I'd have thought so, but maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. More cash in the till. But you raise money, don't you, for the Community Sports Foundation? Is that still going ahead here, even though you've moved shop?
Yeah, we're volunteers. We do this in our spare time, believe it or not, so we take nothing out of this. All the profits we make go to the Community Sports Foundation. Of course, recently, a lot of the profits are coming to doing this, but hopefully, we're really hoping that by having a bigger stock and a better sort of facility, that we'll be able to raise more funds.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Now, I know you haven't had a chance to listen because you've been so busy getting the shop open. You haven't had a chance to listen or see last night's interview at the AGM with Delia Smith. And, of course, there's been a lot of fan reaction to her, saying that there are plenty of boo boys at Carrow Road. But the season in general, I mean, you know, Norwich fan to Norwich fan, it's been pretty rough, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I heard it went well last night, but yeah, the season's not been great. I mean, it started off obviously a bit of a bluster, but it didn't look as if we could sustain it, and we didn't. And I think the current run of bad form we've got at the moment, well, it obviously has to come to an end quite quickly. Not just in terms of results, it's actually what's happening on the pitch. You know, we need to see less of the 2-0 up, losing 3-2, and more of the maybe 2-0 down and winning 3-2. You know, more of the Cardiff away, that sort of thing.
Well, 3 points for your shop, at least. That's the main thing. Sharon, Jacob, Andy, thank you very much. In fact, you've got a bit of I don't know what, a stand there that you'd be hanging clothes on there. It looks like you're about to hit me with it, but hopefully not. The last finishing touches put together for the shop here on the Stall City in a new location right here in the Forum. Thank you very much. On the Ball City.
Yeah, really nice addition to the Norwich Forum. The Christmas lights are out there twinkling, especially when it gets dark. Looks really, really nice. Lots of Christmas stalls in the Norwich Forum today as well, and on the Stall City right by there, their new shop space, raising money for the Community Sports Foundation. More Norwich City on the way. Heard about, Ed mentioned that AGM. We'll play back our special edition of the scrimmage, reflecting on the annual general meeting from Norwich City, hearing from Delia Smith, Mark Atanasio, Michael Wynne-Jones, and yes, reaction to that nature. Don't forget, Bristol City are at home to Norwich City. Yes, our next Canaries fixture we've got for you. 1 o'clock coverage starts tomorrow on Radio Norfolk. But right now, we are here at Crown Meadow, the Foster Solicitors Community Stadium, where Lowestoft are riding high against New Salamis. 4-0 up and 4 different goal scorers, Nick Bowler.
Yeah, riding high, and those 4 different goal scorers. We've got Sayer, Hinton, Reed and Hipperson have given Lowestoft Town a very healthy advantage here as the players eventually reappear for the second half. New Salamis just going into a little huddle and then peeling off, part of their warm-up routine, I guess. Not much that Jamie Godball would have had to say, Steve Riff, at half-time, because that was a really good performance second half, dominant, and they got their just reward.
Yeah, I think you just say more of the same. You know, don't take your foot off the gas. You know, keep doing the same thing. But I guess it'd been more interesting to hear what the new Salamis manager was going to say. In fact, I don't think he's actually come out for the second half, which is probably an understandable switch. You know, player manager's not always the easiest role to undertake, and 4-0 down. Perhaps going from a 5 at the back to a 4. Hope to perhaps be able to at least push up the pitch a little bit higher, perhaps.
Well, the players coming off, we wondered whether Jake Reed would come on, because he picked up that knock when he was challenged for that second penalty, Lowestoft Town's 4th goal, and thinking, with such an advantage, should he be risked anymore? But he's there, he's raring to go for the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he knows his body better than anybody else, and whilst that may have been a painful sort of whack on the ankle, you know, he's keen to come out. But I guess if he can't get involved in the game, and the tempo drops a bit or whatever, and it starts to stiffen up, then they'll take him off.
So there has been a change for New Salamis. Tommy Boxer, the player manager, has gone off. We're struggling to see just who has replaced him. We'll try and get confirmation of that eventually. Normally you see on the far side a board go up with a nice bright number, but not to be today, unfortunately. And what everybody here will be hoping is that the conditions don't deteriorate any further, because it certainly has got a little bit thicker, the fog, Steve, and when you're leading so comfortably, the last thing you want to do is for a game to be called off. And I'm sure that New Salamis won't fancy going back anyway.
Particularly as it'll probably be a midweek game on probably Tuesday night.
Nice ball played from the Lowestoft left to right. Asaya, one of the goal scorers. Is he going to try his luck at the start of this second period? Here's Hinton, one of the other goal scorers. There's plenty of Salamis players in attendance, 3 of them to be precise. So those numbers tell, and Salamis deep inside their own half, trying to work their way out of trouble with difficulty, but it's the Amope with the ball forward. But comfortable enough for Josh Hazel. He looks up, right-footed into the middle. It's fallen nicely for Reid. He lets it go though because he knew he was in an offside position. And then Jodja forward for Salamis, attacking from right to left as we view from the cabin here at the Foster Solicitors Community Stadium. And it's a decent looking ball forward down the middle of the park by Salamis. Wroxham, Lowestoft Town trying to snuff that out, do so effectively. And it will be a goal kick.
Can only assume that the substitute for New Salamis has positioned himself on the far right hand side of their lineup, because most of the other players that we can see were in action in the first half. No new number that we can identify as yet.
Well, we wondered why Jake Reid was on the pitch. It looks now as though he's going to be taken off. I'm sure he probably just said, let's see how it goes for the first 5-10 minutes of the second half. But really, when you're 4-0 up, it was questionable whether he should come out.
Yeah, I thought that would have been an easy decision at half time, to be honest. Or should have been an easy decision at half time.
So our Salami is going to prove more of an obstacle this second half. That will unfold in front of us, but it's Lowestoft Town who have this 4-goal advantage, and they certainly will not look to relinquish that and not take the foot off the gas. And Adam Hipson certainly isn't, although runs into trouble. There's a good charging run through the middle of the park. Hipson just running into a couple of defenders who stood firm and then delivered to the Salami's right. And it is now very, very difficult to see exactly who is on that right-hand side from here. Salamis again. It's a decent-looking run down the middle, but the final ball from Jodja was poor. And Lowestoft able to clear it up towards that halfway line again. But one back by Salamis, who are allowed to continue when play nearly came back for a free kick. And that's an effort from the right-hand side from Salamis, which went behind, goal kick. And now confirmation of the change. And Sam Aldis is going to come on for Lowestoft Town, and Jake Reid, who's up to 18 for the season, won't be adding to that today. He goes off after that, picking up that knock at the end of the first half. Hopefully not too bad a knock. Sure, it's just precautionary.
Yes, it just seems pointless to take a risk, doesn't it? And potentially aggravating the injury.
Keep an eye on as well how Galston are getting on, because that will put a factor into what happens at the top of the table come 4:45 or 5 tonight, because they're at Felixstowe Malton United, who are second in the table. Well, half-time Felixstowe were leading by a goal to nil. Here, Lowestoft Town with another decent ball out to this right-hand side, and a good collect and cut inside by Harvey Sayer. Then to Hinton, who's fouled, free kick.
I thought that looked a little bit soft, perhaps, the award of the free kick there. About 22 yards out. more or less in line with the right-hand post.
This is in a pretty similar position to one first half, wasn't it? Which was clipped over. Was it McIntosh who took it? And
I think it was Sayer.
Was it Sayer, was it? Well, he's the one who's going to take this free kick. I'll tell you why he probably didn't take that second penalty in a minute, but it's some info I got at half-time from Terry. But it's Sayer, free kick, 8 or so yards outside the penalty area. Could it be number 5? Sayer scores some good ones. He's scored plenty of good ones this season. He's going to add to that. Sayer with a left-footed effort. It's the post and comes away. Play stays in. Hinton, can he get there before it goes out? But it's cleared only as far as Hazel. Sayer so close to his second and the 5th of the afternoon. But the upright keeping it out, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, there's much more pace on this free kick compared with his effort in the first half. And hit the bottom of the post. Keeper Rabstein was beaten at all ends up, but no Lowestoft player on hand to knock the rebound in.
Now, the last time Lowestoft had a second penalty awarded to them, Sayer scored the first, took the second, missed it. So that's why that maybe Adam Hipperson was given it today.
Makes sense.
Very much so. And as we've talked about before, Hipperson has scored plenty of penalties in his time as Sayer switches play to the Lowestoft left, and it's a long-range strike which sails over the bar by some distance. Goal kick to
Adam
Lowestoft
Hipperson.
Town. Hipperson it was with the attempt. That's loosely worded.
Yeah, another substitution for New Salamis. Number 3.
Yeah, Ujdi's coming off.
Numbers, I think it was. I thought it was a six they put up, but it can't have been a 6.
There's a 16. There's Salamis is one of the recent acquisitions, isn't he?
Well, fortunately, he's jogging this way. If he'd stayed on the far side, we had no chance of telling who it was. But
51 minutes gone. It's Lowestoft Town leading by 5-0, and it is Christos Vatselis who's on the pitch. And that's what we were saying before the game. When you get teams around that area, there's almost a constant revolving door of players. Isn't there?
They have so many options, to play at a similar standard.
Hinton forward for Lowestoft. Wayward from him. It's unusual, but it's gone out. Went over Sayer's head.
Be interesting to see how this half pans out, because quite often you get games where you get a team who are comfortably in front at half time, i.e. 4-0, and sometimes the second half is like a bit of a drab 0-0, but be interesting to see if Lowestoft can kick on again and add to their tally.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want the break to come because it does mess with your momentum or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to pick it the pace of the game back up again. But when you're in such a commanding position as Lowestoft are, they won't be too concerned about that by any means.
And sometimes substitutions seem to sort of disrupt the flow and the pattern of the game, and don't always have a positive impact.
Not looking good for Galston. They're now 2-0 down at Felixstowe and Walton United. Josh Hitter, great name, Josh Hitter, with a 52nd minute goal there for Felixstowe and Walton United. We're 8 minutes into the second half here at the Old Crown Meadow. Lovely ball in from Sayer to Hinton. He then leaves it for Charlie Norman. Now back with Sayer, who nutmegs his man, goes into the box, appeals for another penalty there, but on this occasion the referee waves them away.
Rightly so, I think.
That would have been very harsh, wouldn't it, to have a penalty conceded in that manner. But great nutmeg from Sayer, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we finally established that the half-time substitute for New Salamis was Thomas Avgustidis, number 19.
I thought I'd leave that for you to say anyway.
I was quite confident with that one. Some of the others I'm not so sure about.
You've been practicing for 10 minutes. Yeah, there are. It's always a nightmare sometimes, isn't it, when you look at the nice little ball over the top for Lowestoft, which is well taken by keeper Rabstein, who came hurriedly out to snuffle that particular danger. Yeah, we've done plenty of games, Steve, where you look at the team sheet, you think, oh my word, this could be trouble.
Yeah, I think when you get You get lots of D's and J's all thrown in together, and they're a bit hard to get your tongue around.
Salamis on a rare attack, really well defended by Lowestoft Town, because when you are in the ascendancy, another thing that you pride yourself with is keeping clean sheets as well, which is something that the Blues will want to do.
Yeah, you want to, good habits. Make it as though it's second nature.
Salamis, a low left-footed strike, which is just wide.
Yeah, it was a bit hard to tell from where we're sitting whether that had actually beaten Luke Holt for a moment. You could see it rebound off the white hoardings, but
well, I was waiting to see if it was if it was a corner, as to whether it was a decent save.
Potentially a save.
He was really stretching, wasn't he, to his left there, Luke Holt. First time, you have to say, he's had to put his body in a stretch position in this game.
Yeah, it's been very, very comfortable for him so far.
4-0 Lowestoft. Keeper Holt with the clearance. Son, of course, of Gary Holt, who played here for a spell. Lowestoft hungry for more. Good block on Haylock, though, as he tried to release the shot in the area. That was good defending by Salamis.
Yeah, good solid challenge in the box, had to be timed perfectly.
And then a good run through the middle of the park from Mentis for the visitors, who are looking a little bit more constructive and menacing in this game. A good stern talking to, I would imagine, at half-time, as you would expect.
Yeah, they will have tweaked their shape slightly as well, which perhaps another body in the middle of midfield might be helping their cause.
Still murky. I'm pleased to say it's not got any worse, has it, since we started the second half. In fact, maybe it's lifted a little bit as the ball finds its way to Sayer. Right-hand side of the penalty area again. Tries to get it onto his left, and he gets it onto his left, but he just hits the ball into danger. And then a post is hit again by Lowestoft. Haylock on this occasion. Crisp right footer. Cannon back off the foot of the post. Twice that's happened in this half.
Yeah, Sayer's initial effort ricocheting nicely into the path of Haylock. Had one touch, got his shot away. Good crisp shot, low to the right hand corner, off the post.
Batselis gives it away for Salamis, allowing Lowestoft another opportunity. Sayers, though, just puffing and puffing to get on the end of it. But Salamis eventually able to get it forward to Adu. And it was Batselis, it was, who delivered that pass from New Salamis, who again are making good inroads down the right, but two Lowestoft Town defenders just stopping him in his tracks very effectively, and then Hinton able to bring that ball forward for the Blues. Attendance of 315 hardy folk out there this afternoon. It's bitterly cold.
Yes, if you're... Well, it's cold enough in here, to be honest, in this Portakabin press box, but if you're outside, you'd have to keep your feet on the move, I think, to keep the blood circulating and not have your toes go numb on you today.
58 minutes gone. Lowestoft Town with that 4-goal advantage. And it was a 2-minute spell in the first half which really got the Blues going. They dominated anyway, but a Harvey Sayer penalty, quickly followed by a good solo effort from Dave Hinton, and Jake Reed adding a third just before the break, but in time added on a second penalty awarded, and Adam Hipperson dispatched that one.
Yeah, the last off goals coming in sort of little 2-goal bursts within relatively close proximity to each other.
Micah Jackson for New Salamis. Ball delivered from the left, and it's fallen nicely for them on the right-hand side. And it's a decent effort played in, well struck, but it's gone out eventually on the far side for a Salamis throw. Please don't ask me who's taken the throw. I can tell you it is a player in red. And they certainly are asking one or two questions of the Lowestoft defence in this half, but the massed ranks of the Blues managed to clear it nicely to Sayer. Sayer, cute looking ball for the run of Adam Hipperson. Keeper makes a fumble, but he's helped out by his defence. Lovely ball over the top from Sayer.
Yeah, just a little bit too much pace on it for Adam Hipperson, and Adam sort of gave up on it. He sort of assumed the keeper was going to collect it comfortably, and he made a bit of a hash of it. Unfortunately, he had defenders around him to clear their lines.
He made one hash, didn't he, in the first half, which I would say gifted Lowestoft the chance, but it was certainly seized upon. And that's what you need to do when you're on top. Absolutely make the opposition pay. And they're looking pretty uncomfortable again at the back of Salamis. Well, they just managed to swing one clear. Hinton coming across to try and pick up the loose ball, but the decision goes in Salamis' favour. And it's substitute at Salis to take it. Looked like a foul throw, but not that they're often given. And into the middle to Mentis. Still inside their own territory at the moment, Salamis. Until they find Jackson. He prods it forward. That'll be a free, and that's not a free kick to Salamis. The referee allows Lowestoft Town to continue play. Looks as though he's going to bring it back, but it's with Sayer. Again, just runs into a little bit of trouble. Should have just released that ball, because he's got Haylock in the middle there, who it falls to eventually, who goes down under the challenge, appeals for a free kick, not given. Salamis should be able to clear, eventually through Adu. One or two things that the ref didn't give there that we were expecting him to.
Well, I think all we could say in his defence, he was very well positioned for most of those incidents.
And he consistently didn't give them, which is one for each side. So it all worked out well in the end. Lowestoft Town throw in to Hazel, the debutant, forward by the Blues towards Aldous. Does well, the Lowestoft Town substitute. Sayer forced back into his own half, and he will play it all the way back to his keeper, Luke Holt, and those two then exchanging passes, and then they try and switch it from right to left. It's an effective switch as well, because Lowestoft Town keep possession. Just looking up for the right player to give it to is Fitzgerald. Then to Norman. And the bench this afternoon, as well as, well, one that's been used, Sam Aldous. The opportunities maybe for Graham Hinton, Owen Murphy and Travis Cole. Possibly Jamie Goldball might look to introduce one of them to give them a few minutes.
Yeah, I suppose depending on the nature of the injuries, perhaps if you had been out for a while with a muscular injury, perhaps today is not the day to come on just for the hell of it, perhaps in these cold conditions. But if somebody is otherwise in good enough nick to come on and have a run out, I'm sure they'd welcome half an hour or 20 minutes.
Well, Lowestoft certainly not afraid to, and Jamie Godball not afraid to give youngsters the chance. When Aldous just 16 years old apparently, so, which is a good level of football to be playing at, isn't it, when you're at that age? And there he is now with a nice little touch and a lovely looking delivery to Sayer to send Lowestoft Town on the attack again. Right hand side of the penalty area, now into that area. Is Sayer going to get a shot in? He is. It's a daisy cutter though, and the sting taken out of it because he just hit the ball into the ground initially. Under the intentions of Lynch, yes, but he should have done better there.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit predictable. He's checking in onto his much favoured left foot all the time. Every now and again, if he was just to try and skin the fullback on the outside, just to keep him guessing.
Just over the hour mark, 63 minutes gone to be precise. Still Lowestoft Town leading by 4-0 here on BBC Radio Norfolk. Galston still 2-0 down in their game at Felixstowe and Walton United. So it'll be exactly as you were at the top of the table in Isthmian North if things stay as they are.
And the first time I heard really of Sam Aldous' name was a couple of weeks ago. I bumped into an old teammate of mine, Archie Moore, and he's a friend of Sam's dad, and we were talking football, and he asked if I'd seen him play, and I couldn't confirm that, but now I can.
Now you can. On as a second half substitute for Jake Reed this afternoon is Sam Aldous. That's the only change so far from Jamie Godbold, and I'm sure that he will shuffle his pack a little bit. As we were saying earlier, I mean, Graham Hinton is probably unfortunate to be on the bench today.
Yes. There may be Owen Murphy. He'd been out with a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah, he's been out a long time as Owen Murphy, of course, former Dereham Town defender. Been there quite some time. A good, really good performer, very consistent. And Lowestoft Town showing consistency in results just recently, looking to make it another win and allowed to continue play. Good refereeing. It wasn't a free kick to Lowestoft, but he said carry on because you have possession. Here they are with McIntosh, who's been dispossessed a bit too cheaply, really, allowing Salamis to have a run down the right, but that's a poor ball inside, which is comfortably cut out by the Blues. And then Hinton forward. Now it's with Sayer, challenged very rapidly, too rapidly, as a free kick has been awarded by the referee, who immediately has gone to his book, to his pocket to get the book from something that was said out of turn there, not by the player who made the challenge, but by somebody behind him.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a free kick from here. It was quite a robust challenge. I'm not sure it was perfectly timed either.
Well, he's certainly feeling the effects of his right ankle, is Harvey Sayer.
I think referee booked Lynch in the end, I think. Number 7.
So Lynch it is, into the referee's book. It's a free kick. 25-30 yards out. And it's in a very tasty position if you fancy yourself from a set piece, which Harvey Sayer certainly does do. McIntosh also standing over it.
Oh, Adam Hipperson strikes a good clean ball. The distance wouldn't trouble him or deter him, I wouldn't have thought. But
it's either or, isn't it? Because Hipperson can take it right-footed and swing it round the two-man wall, or is it going to be Harvey Sayer? Well, it's not going to be Hipperson because he's gone further left now. So it's going to be Harvey Sayer with a left-footed, and it's a decent one, which is beaten away. Or was it hit that post again? But it's kept in and played across. Chance, and it's gone in. On that occasion, it did go in. They've been knocking on the door in this second half of Lowestoft Town, and although that initial free kick was saved or hit the post and came out, the ball played back into the middle. Bang, 5-0.
Yeah, Dave Hinton, it's a good save by keeper Rapstein. Dave Hinton got the loose ball on the byline, squared it across the 6-yard box, and I think we'll find it was Josh Hazel who got the goal at the far post.
That was a pretty good finish from the middle. It's very difficult to see in the midst of all those players exactly who it was.
I was just going by the sort of body shape, tall and lanky. I don't think it was Adam Hipperson. I'm pretty sure it was Hazel.
Looks like it. Josh Hazel on his debut for Lowestoft Town has got the 5th. 5-0 to the Trawler boys.
Well, we wondered if Lowestoft will continue to kick on in this second half, and they've certainly done that so far. New Salamis have had a few little forays into the Lowestoft half, but generally their passing around the box has been pretty poor, and they haven't troubled keeper Holt at all.
68 minutes gone, it's now 5-0. They've gone nap of Lowestoft Town. And will this signal another barrage of goal scoring, having made that initial breakthrough in the second 45? Not that you don't want to be greedy, but they are in the ascendancy. As I say, I mean, fill your boots while you can. Here comes Hinton. Heavy touch forward. It's left by the goalkeeper, and It was young Aldis who managed to square it from the right. Didn't have enough pace on it to trouble the keeper in the end, but that was a poor decision by Rabstein, who nearly came and then checked back.
Yeah, not as though Aldis knew it, but even if Aldis had made a slightly better connection and got the ball across the 6-yard box, there's no Lowestoft players in the penalty area. But at least he was alert and latched onto that loose ball in the box.
And while you are so dominant, at the end of the season, goal difference can make a difference. You just keep going, don't you?
It can be worth a point too, can't it?
Because coming into this game, Felixstowe were the top scorers in the division. Maybe conceded more than the Blues, but nevertheless you want to carry on as much as you can, make the opposition suffer, and they're certainly doing that here as Sayer brings it out wide right for Lowestoft Town, looking for a 6 maybe. Sayer puts on his left, again it's a low one and it's gone in, it's sneaked in at the far post. It was, again, I wouldn't say a daisy cutter, but it was a rolling effort across along the grass, and Rabstein was scrabbling to try and get there, the new Salamis goalkeeper, but it was so well placed, it sneaked in between his hand and the far post to make it 6-0.
Yeah, once again, Sayer jinking down the right-hand side of the box and then cutting inside on his left foot. I'd have thought they would have sort of learnt by now and shown him onto his right foot more often, but he continues to cut in. And as you said, the shot didn't really seem to have much pace on it at all. You couldn't criticise the placement and the accuracy in just nestling it inside the far, the left-hand post. But I don't know, I'd have been perhaps a little bit disappointed with my goalkeeper not being able to get a hand on that somehow.
Well, he's not filled himself with too much glory, has he, the keeper? Mistake in the first half, and he looked a little bit. He's nearly made 1 or 2 boo-boos in the second period. Certainly seemed to be slow to get down there.
Well, because he's not been helped by what he's got in front of him, as he's, they looked a pretty poor side from the outset, really. They strung very little together, certainly in an attacking sense, and defensively they're getting found out time and time again.
Yeah, very little threat coming from New Salamis. They've been certainly found out this afternoon. Really ruthless performance so far from the Trawler boys, but it's a free kick to the visitors, Micah Jackson, and that's a really poor delivery, which is easily cut out and played forward by Hinton for Lowestoft. Aldis is chasing it down. Best of clearances again by the keeper, but he's been helped out by his midfield, who pump it forward. Effectively, it gets out to the right, with a challenge coming in there, just to concede a corner. Why has the flag gone up now?
I think I'd guess it's probably a throw-in, but good challenge nevertheless from
just in front of
Fitzgerald.
Right, I can see the flag now. That is a throw-in to Salamis. 6-0 Lowestoft Town. 17 minutes of this second period remaining. Looking for a crumb of comfort here, Salamis, as they play in from the right. It's a low one. Ricochets into the arms of Holt.
Yeah, whipped in towards the near post. I don't know if Waite got a touch on that, but it was a goal kick for Lowestoft anyhow. If he didn't get a touch on it, it must have been the cross going directly out of play.
Defensively working hard again though, Lowestoft. Now forward. Aldis tries to get on the end of it. It's one back by the Blues. Forward down the middle of the pitch. But goalkeeper Rabstein with a hashed clearance, which skews out to the far side, and that'll be a throw-in to the Trawler boys.
Yeah, Rabstein, he probably gained, his kick to touch, probably gained about 2 yards. Just sliced off the outside of his boot for a throw-in.
Left field for Lowestoft, who lead by 6-0. Really good afternoon's work so far from Jamie Godbold's side. And they've won possession again. It's played into the Salamis penalty area. On this occasion, too many red shirts around, so they bring it clear. Even in doing that, they just seem to run into trouble whenever they have possession, Salamis. But that's credit to Lowestoft.
Yes, they haven't let the tempo drop. Continue to hassle and pressure New Salamis in the New Salamis defensive third, and they're getting the rewards for it.
It's a sign of a good side, isn't it? Just keep going, even though you are so much in the ascendancy. And 4-0 up at half-time. They've carried on that into this second period, and still working hard as Haylock is there to get it through to Aldis. Chance for him, maybe. No, keeper comes out again at the second attempt, manages to collect it. Even that wasn't taken cleanly.
Yeah, it's the second time he's slid out to grasp the ball and failed to get it cleanly with the first attempt.
But they swiftly go from defence to attack, Salamis, just forcing a number of blue shirts back. And it's a strike from distance, which goes harmlessly out for a goal kick.
I'd like to be able to tell you where it went out, but relying on the goalkeepers to give us a clue by going to pick the ball up.
Luke Holt, the Lowestoft Town keeper, places it to the right of his goal. And again, left-footed clearance from him. It's a high one, headed away by Amope. Over the top again from Lowestoft. It's better clearance on that occasion from Rabstein, and it's effective because the goalkeeper has got it out to the Salamis right. But they're taken wider by the Lowestoft Town defence. We just aren't giving him any time to dwell on the fact that a decent ball into the area, but no red shirts around Luke Holt. Just claims that quite comfortably.
Here's Tom Fitzgerald making a bit of a hash of trying to head the ball clear. A lofted punt down the pitch by New Salamis. It's easy for us to criticise sitting here, trying to pick the ball out of the floodlights and all the fog. It's probably not as easy as it looks from here.
I mean, coming into this game, as we were talking about goal difference, Lowestoft had a 22 difference and Felixstowe 17, so that's already better. And Felixstowe were the top scorers in the division. That's going to take a little bit of a hit because they had a 4-goal advantage on Lowestoft, and that, if things stay as they are, Felixstowe winning 2-0, Galston losing 2-0 at Felixstowe, and then 6-0 here, then that's wiped that out totally in Lowestoft's favour.
Well, I think both sides have now scored 39 goals as we stand at the moment.
So prolific, both these sides. Lowestoft Town certainly been prolific this afternoon. 6-0 they lead here at the Foster Solicitors Community Stadium. Sayer just slipping as he tried to deliver a pass. It's played back to Luke Holt, who gets the ball stuck under his feet, but he manages to release the pass eventually to Hazel. And it's quickly released forward to Harvey Sayer. Sayer now gets one into the middle. It comes off the head of a Salamis defender, though. Takes a sting out of it, and Rebstein, the keeper, collects.
Yes, Sayer trying to pick out Sam Aldis. Unfortunately, New Salamis defender got a little bit of his chest on the ball and cut it out.
Well, the youngster, he's been industrious, hasn't he, since he's come on? That'd be nice if he could get on the score sheet.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't had a clear-cut opportunity to score, but he's looks comfortable at this level and fitted in well.
12 minutes remaining. Lowestoft Town 6. Yes, Lowestoft Town 6, New Salamis 0. And it's with the visitors, right-hand side. You can tell with how their tempo's dropped a little bit, isn't it? They know it's a lost cause, but at least they are trying to get it forward. And they have got a corner.
They'll be trying their best, no doubt, to at least get a consolation goal. A little, well, not an air of respectability. They've got some way to go, but at least to make the scoreline look not quite as bad.
And equally, Lowestoft Town will be working really hard to make sure that they can keep a clean sheet. But they've got this corner to defend. It's going to be swung in, left-footed. It's high. It's a testing one, but dealt with on that occasion. They conceded another corner, opposite side, but they stood firm.
Yes, left wing corner this time. Lowestoft having adequately dealt with the right wing corner.
Just have our vision to our left at the moment. I'm sure we'll see it delivered in the murky distance. Referee just making sure there's no shoving and pushing illegally in the penalty area. Signals now that the delivery can be made from the Salamis left-hand side. It's a poor one, cleared upfield by Lowestoft Town. It's going to fall back though for the corner taker. And Asgudis. And now Salamis trying to work something left-hand side. Not the best of clearances from Lowestoft, so it allows Salamis to at least keep the Blues pinned in their own half at the moment, unless they can release the pressure now. As Aldis does well to win the ball, gets it through to Hinton, slips at the wrong time, does Adam Hipperson, just as he was charging through the middle, picks himself up. But it does offer an opportunity for Salamis. Trying to get the ball into the danger area again, but it's run out of play, and that's a goal kick for the Blues.
Well, I suppose a temporary respite for the New Salamis defence. A couple of corners and spent probably 5 minutes or so, perhaps, in the last off half without really threatening.
They certainly have this half, I guess, spent more time in the right half from their point of view than the first, because they found it really hard, didn't they, to get out of their territory in that first 45 plus.
Yeah, I think going from a back five to a back four this half has helped them in that respect.
Well, they'll look at it as a bit of a moral victory that they've only conceded 2, I guess, in this half. That's a nasty challenge on Dave Hinton after another poor clearance from Rabstein put Mentis under severe pressure in trying to sort the situation out. Mentis went in really hard there on Hinton.
I think he'll get a yellow for his troubles.
Well, he should do.
Fortunately, I think Dave Hinton saw it coming and managed to get his sort of weight off his standing leg.
Yeah, he rode it to a degree, didn't he? But that was certainly a cautionable offence.
Day just gets better for New Salamis.
Yeah, another booking for Salamis. And looking back at the whole game, and the ref's not had an awful lot to do, has he, really?
No, there hasn't been many bad challenges at all in the games been played in good spirit.
Well, Lowestoft fans will be pleased to see that Dave Hinton is up off on his feet. But you're right, I mean, he did see it coming, and so he started to ride the challenge. That certainly was a challenge which was punished.
Yeah, the ones that do damage are when you've got all your weight on your standing leg and then somebody clatters into it.
I think Felix Don Walton United must have been listening to our conversation about goal difference, because they're now 4-0 up at home to Galston.
Well, I'd be delighted with that scoreline as well, because on paper probably looked a little bit of a tricky fixture for them.
Yeah, and we were hoping certainly that Galston would be able to get something there. It's a 4-0 defeat at the moment for Galston. Here it's a 6-0 victory as it stands for Lowestoft Town as we enter the last 6 minutes of this game. There will be time to be added on. We're looking for a ball at the moment. Oh no, here it comes. I don't really know why balls ended up there when the challenge came in about 30 yards up the field. But Ball has been retrieved. Harvey Sayer will take the free kick wide right for Lowestoft Town.
Lowestoft not the tallest of front lines at the moment.
Well, Hipperson is the tallest in there, isn't he? Behind him we've got Hinton, and you've got Aldous and Haylock. Who's this delivery going to be to from Sayer? It's a swinging one, which is beaten away by the keeper. He was caught out because the defence in front of him didn't deal with it. And you have to say, Rabstein did well to get that one away.
Yeah, it's one of those tricky ones in swinging. Free kick. He can't really commit until all the ball has passed all their strikers. And if he hadn't have dealt with it, it would have nestled in the far corner.
5 different goal scorers this afternoon. That's I'd say it's unusual, obviously, but Sayer is on a brace at the moment. Can he add to that in the final 4 minutes or so? Salamis left-hand side with Vatsalis, and then into the middle, and Adu. He then switches play to the right-hand side. And he gained 20-30 yards, just forcing Lowestoft Town back. Again, plenty of blue shirts behind the ball just to try and quell any of the danger. And that's been impressive as well, Steve, when they haven't got the ball there. They want to win it back, Lowestoft Town, and there's busy bodies all over the pitch.
I was then thinking the very same thing myself. You know, thinking back to the first half, yes, they played well in possession, but probably as much as anything, the key to the success was, you know, how they worked as a group out of possession. You know, pressing New Salamis in their own half, and you know, and getting the ball back early, high up the pitch.
Well, Salamis do have the ball not far from the Lowestoft Town penalty area at the moment, but again, just a point in fact. 3 blue shirts working hard to make sure the visitors can't do any damage, and they bring it forward and play another dangerous ball to the edge of the Salamis penalty area, but defensively okay on that occasion. Oh, poor again from Rabstein, who he had it's quite incredible, isn't it, what Rabstein was trying to do there. It was a back pass to him, and he was trying to be clever, play it back to the guy he got the delivery from. All this was chasing him down, and very nearly got on the end of it.
Yeah, he managed to intercept the intended pass from Rabstein, and luckily for Rabstein, the ball ricocheted out for a goal kick, but perhaps that's why he's a goalkeeper and not an outfield player.
Well, I think he for one will be happy to hear the whistle go, because he's not had the best of games, has he? And he's seen 6 goals go past him so far. I wouldn't rule out another one at Lowestoft Town. Sayer sold short with a pass, didn't go in for the challenge, and I guess fear of picking up a knock. But it's August de Bibis who sends a decent looking delivery in from the edge of the penalty area, which is well punched away by Holt, the Lowestoft keeper. He must have cold hands this afternoon, you'd think, and he's going to be tested again until a block by the Lowestoft Town defence is effective. Again, trying to get it forward to Sayers, just a little bit slow on getting on the end of that pass, allowing Mentis to pick up possession for Salamis. He's then tripped up by Hinton. Those two, of course, just involved in that mini fracas a few minutes ago. Dave Hinton probably just saying, yeah, I'm still here. Free kick late on for Salamis. Played out and switched to their right. 44 minutes of the second half gone. Maybe another change for Lowestoft Town late on in this game. You can see the board on the far side, the green lettering shining in these very foggy conditions. Salamis forced back by a long ball forward by Lowestoft, but they clear up to the halfway line. Header one and finds Hinton for the Blues. Out to Sayer, he's on a hat-trick. Can he do that before this game elapses? Slack pass though, has conceded possession. 4 minutes of time to be added on here at the Old Crown Meadow.
And that 4 minutes can't come quick enough for New Salamis. They'll be trying their best to hold Lowestoft at bay for the added time.
Hipperson, decent looking ball through to Aldis. Good block at his feet though by keeper Rabstein. He might have made 1 or 2 mistakes, but he did well, and brave to get down there low to block at feet. Good ball forward by Hipperson. Just when you thought Aldis was going to get some reward, Rabstein gets in there where it hurts and forces Lowestoft back with a quick ball forward. Salamis, just late on in this game. Hercules it is. Challenge, illegal challenge, free kick late on for the Salamis. Haylock with that foul in the referee's eyes.
They've had 1 or 2 pretty disappointing set plays around the edge of the box so far. We'll see if they can do any better with this in the dying moments of this game. I'm guessing, what, 20, 22, 23 yards out, line with the right-hand post. Luke Holt lining his wall up.
Well, let's hope the track record does continue that way, because it'd be a shame on Lowestoft if they were to be breached late on in this game. They've stood firm to virtually everything that Salamis have thrown at them. Can they do that again here with that free kick? Oh, they can't, because that's a really good free kick which has beaten Luke Holt. All ends up.
Yes.
Hercules it was with the free kick. Stunned everybody, but that was a really good set piece.
There's another one, and because the nets are so close to the, the hoardings, you can see the ball rebound off the hoardings, but you don't know whether it's actually in the net or wide of the goal. And that was an excellent free kick.
So it's a shame, because that clean sheet would have been good to have. Nevertheless, let's not take anything away from the overall performance of Lowestoft this afternoon. That's just one little blot on the landscape. So just a few seconds left in this game. Lowestoft Town against New Salamis. It's now 6-1 in favour of the Trawler boys, who will carry on their merry way at the top of the Isthmian North. But Salamis, in fairness, have at least shown fight right until the end. From their management point of view, that's all you can ask. It was Tommy Boxer who was the player manager, took himself off at half-time. That's just a little crumb of comfort though, Steve.
Yes, they can't take much from this game, but at least they have kept fighting to the end, albeit outclassed.
Yep, very much so. In the main they have been. Well, they're coming forward again, and there's going to be another free kick. There's too much from Aldis. Free kick late on, played out to the Salamis right. Referee takes a look at his watch. Still keeps the whistle away from his mouth though. And that's a loose ball forward by Salamis. Punt forward by Charlie Norman for Lowestoft Town, and that brings a conclusion and an end to this game at the Foster Solicitors Community Stadium. And it's a very handsome win for the Blues, a very comfortable win, a much deserved victory as well, Steve Rushbrook.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't flatter Lowestoft in any way. It's been a good performance. They've done all that they could. You can only beat what's put in front of you. They earned the right to play their game and dictate play, and particularly in the first half, where they were good in and out of possession as a side. They've taken their chances, and I don't think this is a good New Salamis side. May just be a bad day at the office, but they had very little to offer as an attacking force, and defensively they couldn't cope either. So 6-1, true reflection on the performance from Lowestoft.
Well, they will be disappointed to have conceded late on in this game. Hercules with that free kick for New Salamis, but let's take nothing away from this Lowestoft Town side, who've put in a really professional and polished performance this afternoon. Harvey Sayer with a couple of goals. Josh Hazel scoring on his debut after his move from Wroxham. Jake Reed and Dave Hinton as well on the score sheet as Lowestoft Town romp home with 3 points this afternoon. It finished Lowestoft Town 6, New Salamis 1.
Well, what an afternoon there for the Trawler boys. It was a bitterly cold afternoon, but the weather conditions were no match for the Trawler boys. They're 6-0 winners over New Salamis. Lowestoft Town were, and they will continue flying high at the top of the Isthmian 1 North as they look to get promotion back to the Southern Premier Central. Elsewhere in the Isthmian 1 North, it's Galston who are away at the team trying to chase Lowestoft down. Felixstowe and Walton United, and it's Felixstowe who are 4-0 up over Galston, the latest score there. So the Greens failing to get anything from that game. What about what's going on in the Premier League? Well, there's only a few Saturday games because it was kind of like half and half. You've got 5 games today and 5 games happening on Sunday because of European exploits. And we've got a few full times to give you. No less. This one, Burnley taking on Sheffield United. Some may say it's a relegation 6-pointer, and Burnley have come out top trumps on this one.
Obafemi finds Trezor with Taylor on the overlap. So with Mike Trezor, and now Obafemi back heels it looking for Trezor. Brownhill 5. Fabulous 5 for Burnley.
Yeah, can you believe that? The Clarets 5-0 winners over the Blades, Sheffield United, which doesn't take Burnley out of the relegation zone. They're still only 7 points from 14 games played, which is not a very good record at all, is it? But yeah, an emphatic performance which could be an upturn to their season. It could be the spark that lights the Burnley fire, but we'll see how they get on with the more established Premier League sides, shall we? Luton struggling as well in the Premier League, and they've lost at Brentford. Brentford 3, Luton 1, the full-time score there. We're just trying to get a full-time update on Arsenal and Wolves. Arsenal were 2-0 up over Wolverhampton Wanderers, but Wolves have got a consolation. And Wolves wanted a penalty, which VAR checked. No penalty given, though. I think it was for a handball, but there was no handball there. So at the moment, Arsenal hanging on to see if they can secure that 3 points and further cement top of the table in the Premier League. Now, Everton, of course, were deducted 10 points, and they are bottom of the table as things stand, just on 4 points. They had 14, but then it was deducted to 4. They play Nottingham Forest in the 5:30 kickoff. If anything happens in that game before the show ends, we'll let you know about it. And the 8 o'clock kickoff, Manchester United, they were going to fly over to Newcastle, but the plane got cancelled, so they've had to make do with a 3-hour journey to Newcastle. And yes, at St James's Park, Newcastle versus Manchester United, the 8 o'clock kickoff there. What about the Championship? Well, it's just approaching full times there in the lunchtime kickoff. It was West Brom 1, Leicester City 2, which means Leicester City still on top of the Championship as things stand. Wayne Rooney's Birmingham 0-0 at home to Rotherham. What about Hull and Watford? What's happened here?
A long ball, and actually Allsop's going to have to watch it. Oh, and Watford have scored. What on earth? It's a long ball forward by Hoyt, the defender. Allsop's right off his line. It's dropped in, and Watford lead. It's Hull City 1, Watford 2.
Yeah, so Watford fresh off the back of their 3-2 win over Norwich City midweek, beating Hull as well. Good week for them. What about Ipswich versus Coventry? Well, they were 2-0 up. Well, it's 2-1 now. Coventry got a consolation right at the end. It was a Brandon Williams' own goal in the 6th minute of stoppage time, but it was too late. Too little too late for Coventry there. Leeds 3, Middlesbrough 2 at half-time, and no score in the second half, so Leeds managed to secure 3 points at Ellen Road there. Happy times for Daniel Farker's men. Millwall 1, Sunderland 1, the final score. Plymouth have got another 3 points. They were 2-1 winners over Stoke. What about Sheffield Wednesday taking on Blackburn?
Vaults with a little slip, but enough to get the ball wide to Marvin Johnson into the penalty area. Shooting opportunity! And what a brilliant goal for Sheffield Wednesday, who retake the lead against Blackburn Rovers. The searing run down the far side of the pitch and into the penalty area before a venomous drive is unleashed. But ultimately, Sheffield Wednesday have taken a 2-1 lead here against Blackburn Rovers.
And it finished Southampton 2, Cardiff 0. Oh, sorry, you just heard Sheffield Wednesday, their second against Blackburn. That finished 3-1 to Sheffield Wednesday, so a reversal of fortunes for the Sheffield side there. Still bottom of the table, though, but starting to pick up points and closing in to safety. And Huddersfield going into late stoppage time away at Swansea. Huddersfield were 1-0 up, but then this happened.
Patterson to Patino. Patino tries it! They've scored! 1-1! At last, Swansea have found the back of the net. Well, they've deserved an equaliser, but will 1-1 appease the critics of Michael Duff? Patino's goal makes it Swansea 1, Huddersfield 1.
Yeah, Swansea snatching a late point there. And in the Championship tomorrow, of course, Norwich City take on Bristol City at Ashton Gates. It's a 1:30 kickoff, but BBC Radio Norfolk will be keeping you company from there at 1 o'clock. Build up there for half an hour. Then you get full match commentary. And then, of course, it's Canary Call. What will you have to say about the game? What will you have to say about the club in general and the annual general meeting that happened this week? Do get in touch if you've got some thoughts on that. We will be playing you very soon the special scrimmage podcast BBC Radio Norfolk recorded after the AGM hearing from reaction from what Delia Smith, Michael Wynne-Jones, Mark Atanasio and the rest had to say. But right now, let's reflect on what was a very, very eventful win for Lowestoft Town taking on New Salamis. Our live match commentary here on Saturday Sports.
Hinton appeals for handball, and the handball has been given by the referee, and it's a penalty to Lowestoft Town. Protestations from the New Salamis defence, one or two players just walking away from the incident, which would suggest that it did seem to pop up nicely onto an arm. Penalty for Lowestoft. It's up to Sayer. Can he put the Lowestoft Town side ahead? Just takes a step up and really confidently sends the keeper the wrong way, and Harvey Sayer from the penalty spot after 16 minutes makes it Lowestoft Town 1, New Salamis 0. And that's a lovely ball through to Dave Hinton, who's in the left-hand side of the penalty area, still with Hinton, and he makes it 2. Really good stuff from Dave Hinton. He danced his way into the penalty area. He shirked the challenger boxer, which came sliding in, and then with aplomb just slid the ball into the net beyond keeper Rabstein. And all of a sudden, 1 becomes 2. Lowestoft Town leading by 2-0. Jake Reed has pounced on a mistake by the keeper, and Jake Reed puts it away with aplomb. You don't give Reed an opportunity like that just outside the box, because it was keeper Rabstein who, it was an awful clearance from him. It was pounced on by Jake Reed, who thumped it home to make it Lowestoft Town 3, New Salamis 0. Well, they're trying to do more on the attacking point of view there. The assistant on that far side has seen a challenge on Reed, which is going to be punished. If it is, it could be another penalty.
Penalty it is.
And it is Adam Hipperson who takes 2 or 3 steps back. He's the one with his hands on his hips who's going to take this spot kick. Can he make it 4? Hipperson drills it with his right and sends the keeper the wrong way again to bring an end to the first half. A very, very good first half for Lowestoft Town. Second from the penalty spot. It makes it Lowestoft Town 4, New Salamis 0. But it's Sayer, 8 or so yards outside the penalty area. Could it be number 5? Sayer with a left-footed effort, hits the post and comes away. Sayer so close to his second and the 5th of the afternoon. He just hits the ball into danger, and then a post is hit again by Lowestoft. Haylock on this occasion, crisp right footer, cannon back off the foot of the post, but it's kept in and played across. Chance, and it's gone in. On that occasion it did go in. They've been knocking on the door in this second half of Lowestoft Town, and although that initial free kick was saved or hit the post and came out, the ball played back into the middle, bang, 5-0. Sayer puts on his left. Again, it's a low one, and it's got in. It's sneaked in at the far post. It was, again, I wouldn't say a daisy cutter, but it was a rolling effort across the grass. And Rabstein was scrabbling to try and get there, the New Salamis goalkeeper, but it was so well placed. It sneaked in between his hand and the bar post to make it 6-0. Pumped forward by Charlie Norman for Lowestoft Town, and that brings a conclusion and an end to this game at the Foster Solicitors Community Stadium, and it's a very handsome win for the Blues, a very comfortable win, a much deserved victory. Lowestoft Town romp home with 3 points this afternoon. It finished Lowestoft Town 6, New Salamis 1.
Yeah, so there we go. The Trawler Boys 6-1 winners. Lowestoft Town 6, New Salamis 1 in the Isthmian 1 North. Our live match commentary right there, and it was full time definitely there at Galston away at Felixstowe and Walton United. Felixstowe and Walton United 4, Galston 0 in the only other non-league game that was played in the county, well, for our Norfolk sides, because so many pitches freezed over with the icy weather, of course. Now, coming up later on Saturday Sports, we're going to be hearing from Lee Hardy, who says he's disappointed with rider Bradley Peary's decision to leave his Norfolk-based British Superbike team just 1 year into his contracts. If you want to find out more about what's happening with Lee Hardy Racing, we'll have a bit more reaction from Lowestoft Town versus New Salamis, of course, as well. And also, how about this? Big time for Euro 2024. The draw is taking place for the group stages. Of course, England's qualified quite a while ago. Scotland have also guaranteed their places in qualifying. Wales must beat Finland, and then one of Poland or Estonia in the playoffs to qualify. So all to do for them, but we'll know who they might face in this draw right now. So yeah, it's kind of underway at the moment. The build-up has begun. If we do have any idea about who England are playing, we'll let you know here. We're on air till 6 o'clock, and then of course it's Rob Jelly with Upload, and then BBC Music introducing in Norfolk from 6 o'clock. But right now, of course, it's all about the annual general meeting. The big news for Norwich City this week ahead of their game at Bristol City tomorrow afternoon. Norwich City majority shareholder Delia Smith says fan negativity isn't helping the club's fortunes on the pitch. There were words with Mark Atanasio as well, one of the shareholders now, too. Explaining about how he's all into the long-term decisions. We had a chat with Chris Gorham as well about what he learnt from the annual general meeting. Well, let's get a lot more reaction right now. This is a special version of the scrimmage recorded as a podcast, which we're going to play for you now here on Saturday Sport. More on Norwich City right now.